Okay, the last BBC I did, I used some cliches to explain what an interesting world we live in. It all started because I had heard the expression, it's a jungle out there. It didn't take me very long to figure out that it's actually a jungle in here, your mind. So think about it. Think about some of the animals that we normally find in the jungle. The big cats, they're like the very big problems that crop up when the karma that we've created in previous lives comes calling. They growl and they roar, and we really have to pay attention to them, or they're going to attack. Snakes, they're like our fears that slither around through our lives, and we use them as a basis to harm other people. Insects, they are so like the little annoyances that we have every single day. You know, they create a lot of bad moments during our days. And sloths, they're like the bad habits that go slowly around, causing us to concentrate on things other than the Dharma. But when you're in the jungle, if you're smart, you have a machete in your hand to help you get through the undergrowth. You have a guide to tell you where to go, when to go right, when to go left. And you have a lot of companions around to help you carry whatever you've decided you need for when you get to where you're going. And we have all that good stuff with the Buddha and Dharma and the Sangha. The Abbey has been called a pure land, and in many ways it is. And it's definitely easier to keep your mind focused on the Dharma here than it is if you're sitting in the office concerned about selling somebody something that they don't want or need. Being a monastic at the Abbey brings the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha into our lives wherever we look. And of course, we're constantly reminded that our mind is actually the source of our happiness and pain. So why haven't we figured out how to get out of and stay out of this jungle that we're trapped in? Good question. Wish I had a good answer for you. Mostly, you must take the teachings and put them into use. Novel concept. How many times do we actually do that? In the 8 verses of thought transformation, the third one reads, "In all actions I will examine my mind, and the moment a disturbing attitude arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly confront and avert it." How often do we do this? Being at the Abbey, being monastic, helps you do this. But you have to do, the key is you. You have to slow down and look at what is actually going on in your mind and your life. There's so many opportunities to put Dharma into practice, even more when you're a monastic. Now, I'm going to bank hard to port, but with a purpose. Ask a physicist about how things exist, and she'll tell you that atoms are the basic units of matter and the defining structure of elements. The term atom comes from the Greek word for indivisible, because it was once thought that atoms were the smallest things in the universe and could not be divided. We now know that atoms are made up of 3 particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons, which are composed of even smaller particles called quarks. Electrons are extremely lightweight and exist in a cloud orbiting the nucleus. And these electrons are constantly in motion. If you ask an astronomer, she'll tell you that due to gravity, everything is in motion. The Earth goes around the sun. The galaxy twirls in space and moves in relation to other galaxies in the local cluster. The local cluster is moving in and with the local cluster of galaxies, and the entire universe is expanding outward and has been since the Big Bang. Everything in the universe is constantly in motion, from the smallest to the largest. Everything is moving and changing. Ask a Buddhist, and they will say everything is empty of inherent existence. 3 different answers, and yet they all lead to the same conclusion. Nothing stays the same. Change occurs every moment of every day and has since beginningless time. Change is going to happen. So what change are you looking to create of yourself and your world, and how best are you going to go about achieving your goals? Now go back to thinking about your mind. It is constantly thinking, constantly changing, hopefully growing. But as Buddhists, we want to make sure we're growing in wisdom, growing in compassion, growing in love and kindness. We are going to change whether we want to or not. But the change in you is going to start in your mind. The mind that is the source of happiness and pain. Becoming a monastic is like an acknowledgement that you want to slow down and observe your mind and really learn how to best put the teachings into practice. Although slowing down at the Abbey is a contradiction in terms. But becoming a monastic is definitely not for everyone, and that's okay. Today you looked at some of the factors that can influence your decision, and some of them are scary, very, very scary stuff. But whatever you decide will be right for you, and that's the best that anybody can hope for or expect from you.